What's up, guys? Joe Hetrick here. I'm up next on Quad Radio Roadshow. Give you a little taste of what we got going on down south.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Quad Radio Roadshow. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is quadradio.net, the voice of the ATV racing nation. And the Roadshow has made its way again here to Salisbury, North Carolina. We've been here all week. And, of course, I've been talking to some two-wheel guys, been talking to some four-wheel guys, and we'll talk to this guy right here. We all know him and love him as Kid Dynamite, of course, Joel Hetrick. Joel is the 2017 AMA Pro ATV champion and came up, wow, just short of a second national championship. Haven't even had a chance to talk to him about that one yet. Kind of been letting that one settle. He's become a dad. There's a lot of things that's taken place over the last few months, and we're going to catch up with him. And Joel, welcome out to Quad Radio, man. Good to have you back on.
Thank you, Rodney. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. There's a lot to talk about, so it's going to be interesting. Couple minutes.
It is going to be interesting. I know, like I say, we talked a little bit on the phone and tried to do some interviews and stuff. And I know that you had the baby coming. There was a lot of things going on this past fall, so we kind of let that go. And I know you were kind of still stewing over what happened with the championship and that slipping away from you there. In the mere moments, the waning moments of the championship season like that. And, of course, that's some things that I know I want to talk about, and I know probably a lot of people would like to find out a little bit about. You've had a little time to let it set in here now, huh?
Oh, yeah. Now it's gone and done with now. So, a lot of people want to know, my side of the story and, how I feel about everything that went down. And it was a tough day, of course. But, we race motocross. It's nothing's, promise. I obviously thought I was going to win that day, but chain, the clip came off, the master link, whatever happened. I personally think it was my fault. I went over inside roller, and, sometimes when you go over an inside roller off center, the bike, the swing arm and chain and rotor grabs, and I think it just grabbed right. And, it was meant to be, obviously, because that's crazy.
Yeah, and I guess you've had a lot of time to think about it. I mean, it's been several months since we were there and that day in August, and wow. We have a lot to talk about, and I know. Let's just go ahead and open it up with this because that's what's on the forefront of everybody's mind right now. Let's go through that day, man. I mean, I'm going to tell you from my perspective. Here we are. We're up in the announcer's tower. And the gate drops, everything seems normal, but obviously there's that tension in the air because, there's that anxiety because Chad knows that he wants it. You can, that's in the back of his mind. Everybody's there wanting to do their best because that is the last race of the season. They want to put that exclamation point on it. Mm-hmm. And you just want to claim that championship and go home. Yeah. The gate drops. And one of the strangest things I've seen, didn't see you up front, didn't even see Chad up front. You guys were buried about mid-pack, and that's not normal, man. No. And I knew from that point on something was weird.
It was off. It was off to me, too. I mean, I'm battling with Chad in 6th or 7th place, and we're just, we're just riding. It's 2 laps in, I think, or, 3 laps in is when, the chain incident happened. But, yeah, I mean, it was so wild to me. I immediately knew what happened. But it was just, it was an off day, I feel like. I
got to ask you this question. I mean, because this is the first thing as this is going through, you guys take off. I'm thinking, okay, well, all right, yeah, maybe they both of them messed up on the start. That's not that can happen.
Yeah.
But like you said, we're back there, we're battling 5th, 6th, and 7th place positions back there, and you guys aren't advancing.
No.
It doesn't look like you want to pass. Chad didn't look like he wanted to pass. It was like you guys – were you just playing conservative? I mean, that at my point in my mind, I'm thinking he's playing conservative, and I'm thinking also, well, Chad's not going to do anything stupid because he wants to see what Joel's doing. I had all these different scenarios going through my head, and then, of course, we know what happened. But what was happening?
For me – I'm playing conservative. All I do is stay behind him. So if I'm in 10th and he's in 9th, it doesn't matter as long as I'm 1 spot behind him, which it didn't even have to be 1 spot. I think it could have been, he could have got 1st both motos, and I think I could have got 3rd both motos, or 3-4, and I would have tied, and I would have still won. So for me, I'm just cruising back. I'm I'm just watching the chaos basically, because there's everyone's on the track. Loretta's is so tight, and it's people are going everywhere. He's going everywhere. I'm going everywhere, trying to dodge the roosts and the rocks and just try to stay out of that. And it was so so odd to me that we started back there. For me, it's like, okay, maybe I was nervous, maybe the start didn't go as planned, whatever. But for him to do the same thing, it's like, what is going on? Are you trying to slow me down? And because I wasn't going to make quick passes, I wasn't going to get tangled up with someone. And I don't know. It was maybe his game plan. It wasn't mine. I wanted to get a start and go. The year I won the championship, the goal was to win a moto, and I got one start, led the whole race, and it was great. And I did that in the second moto, but of course it didn't do any justice.
So, I mean, I know from a fan standpoint, watching something like that go down, in that moment, I didn't see, you were kind of like hidden out of the way. We couldn't see where you were. And I think we actually picked you up on Racer TV from the TV monitors is when we realized that, where's Joel? Oh, there's Joel on the side of the track.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of the emotion, you could see it in your body at that particular time, because it was a big letdown. There was a lot that went on your mind before you actually said, I better go get a new chain or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, there's a lot that was on my mind. And, for me, the first thing I look down at is the bike, of course. I knew the chain popped, but the chain slapped the motor, which cracked the case, which had oil pouring out. So to me, game over. It's the worst of the worst. All I could do is be, try to be somewhat, role model for these kids that are staring at me on the track. Just everyone's glued to me right now. The race isn't even going on. They're just staring at me. And it's like, what do I do? I went back, upset, and then come back out, got the chain, and pushed it across the track, which, that's a gray area there too, because I didn't know that I could cut the track. And someone had said that Harv told me that, which I disagree with. I don't think anyone said that, because I would have pushed my bike across the track, got a chain on, and wouldn't have lost the championship. So to me, they can take it how they want. I feel like you'd have to go around the track. If I'm going to the pit area, I didn't think I could cut the track. So that was the other situation we were in. Of course, the chain coming off and the oil and all that, but that was another thing that I'm looking at.
Right. You had that. I mean, there was a lot. You wanted to do it, but you wanted to do it right.
Yeah. If I could do it, and I would have known this, and now I know. Surely I would not go back to my rig again. I'm going right across the track. I'm putting a chain on, and I'm going. But I didn't know.
Right.
So that was a tough part.
Well, a lesson learned, a very hard lesson learned, but at the same time, it may have been a good thing. I mean, because it was a good wake-up call. I mean,
oh, that's right. It was. And David says it the best. He's like, you know how it feels to win a championship, and now you know how it feels to lose it. And it's like, you hate losing, of course, but that was the worst possible situation that could happen at the last round. Like, you dread it because it's always on your mind. Like, hope this bike stays good. I hope there's no accidents. I hope nothing goes bad. And it did. So I dealt with that, and now I put it behind me, and it's just fuel to the fire.
Well, I tell you, man, I mean, probably a good thing that was going on during that time. You had some other things that kind of took your mind away from things and put, I guess, life into perspective. Baby Evelyn was born.
Oh, yeah.
Not long after that, huh?
Yeah, Evelyn, she took, all that away from me. It was purely her, and, the joy of being with her. And the first couple months were obviously just so hard. It was insane, Obviously, we weren't, fully prepared for that, but we did it the best we could, and we've been doing great lately, and so is she. So we're learning as we go, just like everyone else.
Hey, man, I figure you guys ought to be great parents. I seen you had dogs. You raised those from puppies, right? It's not much different.
Right? Yeah, for you guys to have puppies out there, think it's the same. You're SOL. It is not the same. That's what we said, though. We were like, oh, we got puppies. They're crazy. No. No. This baby ain't crazy, but she is a lot of work. And but she has her, her times where it just makes you smile, and you look into her eyes, and she just loves you. That's it. I mean, she's pure joy for seeing your face. And I had her giggling in there earlier, and it's just something else. I mean, it's life changing.
There's nothing like a baby's laugh, is there?
No,
I mean,
no. And she just started, so to me, it's awesome.
That's great. I'm glad that you get to experience that. You're a very blessed individual, and I love the way that you put this all into perspective, and you're able to move forward. And moving forward is what it's all about. We got a lot of things going on this year. We'll talk about probably with the biggest thing I think that we can be excited about, and we've talked about it in the past, was the involvement with Honda.
Yep.
Honda has been slightly and getting more and more involved in your program over the last few years.
Yep.
This year, though, they actually put you in the press release. ATV racing is a part of the Honda program.
Yeah,
now.
That was awesome to see. And we had the support last year, and we really wanted that press release. And I'm not sure if we got it last year or not, but it doesn't matter. They still have the support there, and this year they did put us there, and it's cool to see, and it just kind of shuts the haters up. I feel like, I hate to say it, but everyone kind of didn't believe that we had, the Honda support and all that. I mean, you look behind us, there's freaking 7 or 8 dirt bikes, and there's tons of parts being put on these quads every other day. I mean,
that's just what's in here right now.
Yeah.
And there's another row of dirt bikes over behind that. There's a slew of dirt bikes out on the road. I mean, pretty amazing. The whole Phoenix Racing team. I mean, and I know that you probably a couple of years ago, whenever David came to you, I mean, obviously David had a good program. You thought, yeah, this is going to be a great program. But in the back of your mind, were you kind of wondering too where it was all going to go?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Just like everyone else, nothing was guaranteed, so you didn't really know if what he was saying was going to come about like it did, and it really did, because this is like a dream come true in here. It's awesome.
It is. I mean, a nice race shop and a team. XC1 GNCC guys, Andrew DeLong, Austin Lee.
Yep.
Have you had a chance to mix and mingle with them much?
Not Andrew, but I got to meet Austin here probably a month ago, and he seems like a nice kid. He's determined to win some races and be up front and promote the Honda team, the Phoenix Honda team, as he should. And I'm glad to have them guys a part of it, just as well as the arena cross guys, Jace, Isaac, and Freddie. They've been killing it over there too. So, all the publicity we're getting, and the finishes they're getting right now, it's a good start to this 2019 season for the team, and I hope that the ATV MX guys and GNCC guys can bring that as well.
Now, I know you guys have some facilities that you go practice at. Do you take advantage of the Phoenix Honda racing team opportunities that you have? Do you get a chance to go out to a lot of tracks? Now, have you crossed paths with many of these guys out practicing yet?
Not yet. We're
everybody's on a different page.
Yeah. I just got back from Florida, so now that I'm here, it just makes me laugh, because me and Jace were just talking earlier, and we were talking about him riding the quad at Club MX, and it'd just be a sight to see. It'd be funny.
Are they going to try to talk you? You can ride a two-wheel.
I can ride two-wheel probably a bit better than he can ride a quad, I'm sure, because it'd be a first time for him on the quad, which it's going to be interesting. I would love to see it, and he's a very talented rider, so maybe he would surprise us all, but in his eyes, he don't think so.
He is a very talented rider. Now, do these guys? So you do have a good rapport with these guys?
Oh yeah. We all. Isaac came riding with us at club one day. He wasn't actually riding. He just come to hang out, which was super cool. He got to watch us, and he thought it was pretty unreal what we do on the sand track at Club MX, let alone a motocross track. So he's all these guys are really supportive, and just like we are to them. They think we're crazy because we're on 4 wheels, of course, but it's a really cool team aspect. The environment's really fun. Everyone gets along real well, and it's just cool to cross that.
And I got to say, I think this is probably the first full-on effort that we've really seen that have bridged 3 disciplines together. Well, 4 disciplines when you look at ATV motocross, ATV GNCC, motorcycle, motocross, and outdoor, and then, of course, GNCC. I mean, that's like 4 different disciplines that we're bringing together under one thing, and maybe not so much that, but more than anything, the fact that you got 2 and 4 wheels under the same house.
Yeah.
that's pretty neat. I mean, it really is.
It is very neat, and it's a lot of work for everyone in here. Of course, we got specific quad mechanics and we have specific bike mechanics. So sometimes it's overwhelming for these guys, I'm sure, because there's so much stuff going on, and we got Gino in the back doing motors strictly, and then so my mechanic Brandon at home's helping us out with building the race bike for me and taking a little bit off these guys, but still it's like it's never ending, and they're handling it well, but it's a lot going on. There's 9 riders, so at first it's hard to memorize everyone's names because there's so many new people coming in. It's cool though. It's very cool.
It is very cool. And Joel, I tell you, man, life is good. We know that. I see you had the baby. That kind of canceled out the championship. Any other big things that's been going on for you?
No, I think the biggest change really has been the riders, the additional riders to the team. The new Moose gear we're running, Bell helmets, 100% goggles. There's some little stuff on the bike that we changed up. Seat covers, I think, guts, seat covers. We're just trying to make it cross as well as we can with the sponsors that work with the bikes, and they want to work with the ATVs as well. So we're trying to do that, and we're trying to keep the ATV guys that we've been stuck with forever, not stuck with, but that we've been with forever, happy as well. And we don't want to just push them away because they've done tons for me and the boys behind me as well. So it's interesting, but we're moving forward, and it seems like everything's starting to calm down here at the shop. We're figuring stuff out now. We're testing bikes this week with Alka Suspension, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's only going to get better, and I have a lot of input that I need to get out and get into the shocks.
That's awesome, man. New sponsors, new look a little bit, a new look to the team, a lot of great things going on, and, of course, we got a lot to talk about. Stick around. The Quad Radio Roadshow will continue with Joel Hetrick right after this.
Quad Radio is made possible in part by Root River Racing, supporters of amateur and professional racing on the local, regional, and national levels. And Root River Racing invites you to follow their Facebook page and the D6 Ultimate Quad Series Facebook page, where you can keep up to date with one of the nation's premier local championships.
Hi, I'm Walker Fowler, and this is a DP brake rotor. And these are DP brake pads. Larry Mills and DP Brakes have been a part of my program for over a decade. Recently, we completed the Heartland Challenge, a 10-hour ATV endurance race that is not only physically demanding, but demanding on my machine and my parts. And that is why we choose DP brake pads. At the end of the race, we had 0 brake failures, and they looked brand new. If you aren't using DP brakes, what's stopping you? Literally.
B&R Motorsports Racing Engines and Suspension is a family-owned and operated business with over 15 years' experience working on motorcycles, ATVs, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and snowmobiles. Striving to provide the best customer service, products, and prices around. Check out bnrmotorsports.com. The website has an extensive inventory of parts for the YFC 450RX, the Raptor 125, Can-Am, side-by-side, wheels and parts, and also shocks, shock parts, and springs, and more. That's bnrmotorsports.com. Impact Solutions is your U.S. factory-authorized Alka Suspension headquarters. Located in Little Hocking, Ohio, call Impact Solutions today for service, parts, warranty, sales, and technical support. Call 740-989-2026. And be sure and like them on Facebook. Impact Solutions.
And welcome back to the Quad Radio Roadshow. Rodney Tomlin along with Joel Hetrick, Kid Dynamite here from the Phoenix Honda Racing headquarters in Salisbury, North Carolina, as we are preseason 2019. Wow, just a few weeks away, Joel. We've got Supercross, the first of 10 rounds coming up. I think that's a pretty neat thing. We've got a couple of one-off events this year. We got Daytona ATV Supercross to kick it off, and then you guys will actually go to the Ironman Outdoor National and wrap up the final round after Loretta says ran.
Yeah, that's new to us, and I'm super pumped for it. Ironman's got to be my favorite track. I mean, every time I'm there, it doesn't matter if I get the start or I come from mid-pack. I just flow on that track and somehow get to the front, and I'm hoping that happens at the on the second round and the first round, of course. But the bike guys will be there at the second one, all the big teams, and it would just be super cool to be standing on top of that box and them guys watching that race.
Yeah, and I think that'll be pretty neat. And again, that's helping build that bridge, I think, between our communities of motocross racers. And though ATV racing may be, I don't want to say a dying sport, but it's struggling right now.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a good way for these guys that have this bad idea about what ATVs are about to finally get a look and see, oh, wait a minute, it's not so bad.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, what's really cool is this past weekend I was at the Greensboro, North Carolina Kicker Arena Cross, and it's funny, the guys, whenever they seen the quad guys show up, a lot of eye rolls. And, but when those guys hit the track, when Noah and Hayden hit the track, their eyes. Yeah, it was a whole different ball game. Phones were coming out. They come over here and check this out. I mean, they were skimming whoops and everything, like better than a lot of those bike guys I was seeing.
I heard they were skimming the whoops pretty good. And I talked to Noah after, and he said it was super fun. He wished that Daytona would have some of them rhythms in there because they were safe, but they were that type of thing that would separate the guys, which it looked super cool. I wish I was there to race it. But yeah, I think that's what we kind of need to start doing is crossing that road and getting over there just like we're doing at Ironman. And that arena cross was perfect for, starting that off.
I agree. And I hope it's something that we see more of. So, and I hope that people in their local areas, especially the fast guys, drive to a Kicker Arena Cross. I mean, it's a nice crowd. They put you in the main event. It was the last race, but it was about 4 races after the final pro race, and the place was still packed.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, there were a lot of I've been to a lot of events, and that one, people were coming out, and they were saying, man, that was great. I'm so glad we made the decision to come here. And
that's good.
I heard that out of a lot of different people's mouths and those kind of statements and like that. So, kudos to everybody that was involved in that one. So with that, we know that the schedule's a little different this year. It goes a little longer. Does the fact that it goes a little longer does that trouble you in any way? Or?
No, I would love it to be 12 races. Honestly, I just it always seems like we're in and then we're done, and then we're back at it again. But I would rather race more races. That's kind of why I took on the GNCC racing to expand my skill level, of course, and to dive into the GNCCs with these guys, which I did last year a little bit. Did okay, did 11th overall and a 12th overall. So not bad. My goal was 10th. I was close. I had a couple mistakes at Ironman that cost me the 10th overall. And then at Powerline, it was just a full learning experience, and I learned not to get your hands wet, because you can't ride when your hands are wet. So, the Mafia mitts are next on my list to get. McGill, I'm coming for you. Your mom makes them, I'm pretty sure, so I'll be making that phone call soon. Got to get that. I mean, that would have saved me a lot of time on the track, I think. And I just couldn't push when, my hands are slipping off, and I'm scared to not scared, but I'm not comfortable enough in the woods yet to push that envelope. And especially when my hands were like that, I was just cruising.
Yeah. And I'm glad, I'm glad that you are getting that opportunity. I mean, it gives you a chance to do something different. I mean, you've been doing this for how long? I mean, you were a kid, you were what, 4 or 5 years old when you started this, right?
Oh, yeah. I started racing at 4 or 5 years old, LT80. So I've literally raced for 20 years. And I've only done motocross. So it's cool when I get on a dirt bike and ride it in the off season, and it's really cool when I get to race GNCC. And now that we've worked out the deal that I can race it throughout the season, the MX season, select rounds, of course, the ones that, don't interfere with my training, or, like Florida's right before Daytona. So I'm not going to make that GNCC, of course.
Are you going to go to Big Buck?
I'm going to be at Big Buck. Yep. I'll be there. I need to get on the GNCC quad a couple more times, of course, because I've only been training motocross. But I rode it the other day, and I felt okay. I knew what I needed to change. I know what I need to do to make the bike better. And, we're going to be testing that bike this week just as well. So it's it'll come around. Everything that I had problems with, we've fixed, and everything that we need changed or, bettered, is going to be hopefully done this
Now,
week.
how was this idea of GNCC? I know I've been bugging you for, hey man, you're going to come ride. And last year, yeah, I want to. And you finally, you were able to come ride. Now, and it seemed like there might be something in the works or something in the idea there late last year whenever this all came about. But is this something that you wanted to do? Is it something that was suggested to do and you thought, yeah, that's a good idea? I mean, how did it all work out?
I guess both. I mean, suggested, and I kind of wanted to do it after last season, and I didn't know the funding or the budget of the program if I were, was going to be able to do it, because I didn't want to cost, X amount of dollars just to race GNCC for me to, get top 10 or whatever I'm going to get, because I don't see myself winning. I don't see myself getting on the podium. That's
not yet. There's a lot of
yet.
people that's going to look at it a little different, and you might too once you get out of there.
Last year I was done racing when I went to them GNCCs, so I wasn't in the shape I am now. I wasn't adapted to the bike as well. So there's a lot of things that are going to, really benefit me this year at the first one. And the track I've heard is fast, and if it's fast and I can manage to stay off the trees, you might see, a way better finish. I don't know.
But you're not staking any claims that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, right?
No, I'm really hoping for a top 10 overall, not just in pro, overall. Because them GNCC guys, the XC2 guys, come up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they're hard to beat. But I've been riding with them. I'm learning from them. So I'm hoping I can just learn and, put my intensity that I have on motocross for the first 2 laps of this GNCC. This is my game plan, kind of just intensify the first 2 laps for me because they're the smoothest. And then the second 2, just maintain and try to, my physical fitness is good. So if I can maintain the last 2 laps in whatever place I'm in, hopefully top 8 would be great. Then maintain that and finish up there. But last year I got pulled at the end of the race and I made a bunch of mistakes. So X out the mistakes, and now I'm in good shape again. So I'm right in the place I want to be. I mean,
that's good, man. I mean, and good. And like you say, I mean, it's an opportunity for you to change things up, because, I mean, you talk to so many people that do these things, and eventually, they live it, they do it, and sometimes a bad taste comes in their mouth, because there's been so much. I mean, not everybody's like that, but there has been a handful of people, and you are in a particular situation where that could be something that happens.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I'm doing it for fun at the time right now, but maybe it will progress into something bigger.
Now, you say you're doing it for fun right now, and you're talking about riding and it all. I mean, everything isn't fun. Has there ever been a point in your career where it wasn't fun?
Oh yeah, big time. There's been plenty of moments. And it's not just like I've had moments at the track where it's not fun, and I've had moments training where it's definitely not fun when you're by yourself with Carly now and the baby. But this is over years ago where I just had terrible luck in the off season, and I was just over working on the bike. I'm over training, and I was basically over it all. So
did you ever come close to saying, that's it, I'm done?
Oh yeah, I've said it many times.
Really?
Yeah. And I think I just had to say it,
Right.
I don't think I'd ever do it. I would never quit. I don't think. I love racing too much. I love riding stuff too much. But, I had a race at 2015 at High Point. I think it was a mud race on the Honda. I don't enjoy riding in the mud. So that's another reason I'm racing GNCC to, adapt to that better. But I was there. I'm hating it. I had a bike problem. I didn't finish good. And I'm like, I'm done. I freaking couldn't stand doing it. And it was so much stress on me. I'm like, I'm just done. And, I come back later, cooled down. And, my dad talks to me. He's like, you want to be done? Because he's never pushed me to keep going. I'm like, no. I wanted to be done at that moment. But I come back and I realize, like, I don't want to do anything else. I have such a good, gig going on, a great lifestyle for me right now that I don't want to go to work. I want to do this. I want to work as hard as I can at this and be the best I can. And with Ev lately, she's really helped that stress go away, because now it's like everything I'm doing is I'm looking at her like I want to be the best for her and the family and provide for that family. And there should be nothing that holds me back, and I should not complain.
Right. Good attitude, Joel. Here we are, you're looking at life now. I mean, you've traveled a lot of roads, and things are good, and there's going to be some bumps in the road to come ahead. But
oh yeah,
Joel, I mean, when you were growing up, man, I mean, you were a prodigy. I mean, everybody expected that Joel's going to, be where you are. You're going to be top of the game. You're going to be the elite in the sport. A lot of people probably was looking at the fact that it was going to be a Ricky Carmichael type thing where you're going to come in and it was going to be total domination.
Mm-hmm.
And though it may not have been that, it might be more likened to the another prodigy on the two-wheel side of things that hasn't necessarily blossomed yet, in Adam Cianciarulo, because I think I see where you guys kind of hit the same thing. You had all that hype coming up into it. You got all the talent. You got all the right tools. It's just that things don't fall into place. And for somebody to be touted as much as you were, it took you an awful long time before you were ever able to capture that first championship.
Yeah, it was 6 years racing pro class. 7th year in the pro class, I finally claimed my first one. And to me, just like everyone else was thinking, I wanted to win it the second year in. That was my goal. That was far-fetched. For you guys coming up, it's so much different that you can't let not winning, the first year in pro class, not getting a podium the first year, the second year, or even the third year. You can't let that stop you, because sometimes it's not going to be that easy. And, when I went to pro class 2011, Chad had broke his back that year. So I won two races. I won Unadilla 1-1, and I won Loretta's 1-1. And I had raced a lot of fast guys at the time. Natalie, Upperman, Thomas. There was tons of pro guys that could have won that race. So I still beat the elite guys, but there was still one guy missing. And, that wouldn't have looked – my hype wouldn't have been the same if Chad was there, I don't think, because I honestly don't think I would have been able to beat Chad my first year in the pro class. Just like these guys coming up, I don't think they should be able to beat me or Chad their first year. It's going to take a year of learning that pace, that intensity. It's completely different. Like I was telling you earlier, my first race was at Aona Pass, and I was on a Cowie. I'm battling it out in 6th place. I was battling for 5th, and I'm battling with Joe Bird. Joe Bird was a fast rider at the time.
But he was considered old too, right? He
was considered old, and, I was the young gun, and all the hype was around me to go out there and win the race, or, podium the race. That was my first one. So I got all this weight on my shoulders. Like, what am I doing in 5th and 6th place right now? But the game has changed. When you take that next step of the next 10 minutes you got a race or whatever, and the intensity levels there, the entire race, I was upset with 5th or 6th place, but then I look back now and I'm like, that was great. That was awesome that I was able to battle with a champion.
Right.
And still come out in 6th place.
Regardless, I mean, that's one thing, and I said that he was considered old. I don't want Joe or anybody that's in their 40s, John Natali, to get upset about me saying anything about being old. But what I'm saying is, from his perspective as a rookie, it was, he'd been around for a while, so he expected that he was going to beat Joe or beat Joe, and it didn't happen. And that was cool. That was a good learning experience for you.
It was.
And it probably took you a couple of races really before you could beat Joe.
Oh, it did. And I don't think I beat him for about 2 or 3 rounds, and I had terrible luck with the Cowies and motors blowing and this and that, so that didn't help. But I did get on the Honda around 5, I think it was, and it just turned around, and I started doing way better. I started running up front, starting up front, winning a couple motos. Podium was there about every time, I didn't land up on my head or break something. But yeah, it was just, the whole first year was a learning experience, and it was a major one for me.
So we're talking, what was it, 11 you said?
11,
12, 13. So it was 15 before things really just started clicking for you. I mean, that's 4 years before you really started feeling comfortable in a class that everyone expected you to be the leader in right off the bat.
Yeah, and that's also the tough part. 15 was a tough year for me because, I got in, to really good physical shape I was at the time in 11 till 15. I wasn't in good shape. So I got myself in shape, and, you know, we're pushing the envelope now. We're battling with Chad. It's shown that I can run the pace, but my mentality is I'm still a wild animal. I'm going too fast here. I'm going over the berm there. I'm wrecking at this track, when if I would have just calmed down and rode, it would have been a different story.
You gave us a lot of excitement. I will say that. I mean, a lot of, oh, what are you thinking, Joel, moments, but, you know.
Yeah, it was tough to get away from that. Everyone still to this day is like, you just need to calm down. I'm like, guys, I've been on the podium 2 years straight. Don't tell me I ain't consistent anymore, okay? I've changed my ways. Changed them. I promise.
That's great, man. That's great. And, wow, that's cool, Joel. And there's so much more that I know that we can talk about, but anything in particular that we want to pass along to these folks today or talk about for sure?
I think I'd just like to, tell the upcoming riders, it doesn't matter if you're going to pro class or any class, just give it some time to settle into the class. I mean, if you're going from C to A, or if you're going from B to A, even the A guys, if they were stuck in, or they're going in A class again, they know the race, and they know the intensity level. It's going to be tough to beat them the first time out there. So just don't get discouraged. If you do have them bad days like I did, just go walk away. Just take some time, go do something else, go ride your mountain bike, play some Fortnite. I don't know. Do something you enjoy, and take that stress away from you, and come back later and decide you want to keep pushing the envelope and make it as a pro ATV racer, or do you want to go work a day job? Because I would want to be a pro ATV racer.
and that's it. And you just got to stay focused and realize that there's going to be tough times in the road. There's going to be good times too.
Yeah, there's great times.
One other question I do want to ask you. I know you didn't get a chance because with the baby and stuff. Didn't go to wasn't a part of the Team USA Quad Cross of Nations last year. What does 2019 hold for you? Is that a topic of discussion yet?
Yeah, for sure. I hope I get chose to go. I mean, I would love to go back and defend this two-time title we have now. So, I was cheering for them guys on the live stream when I was watching, and it just kind of ate me up that I couldn't be there. But at the same time, that Sunday we had Evelyn, so it was my best case to stay at home and be with that little girl that's running around on her new thing. I just got her.
Wow. She's trucking, dude.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to send the shout out to or anything like that? Thanks or anything like that?
In particular, I would like to thank Carly. This whole 4 months with Ev has been tough on her and me as well, but she takes the brunt of it, and it's exhausting. It is. It's great, don't get me wrong, but it's exhausting, and she's let me do what I have to do, and she knows this is our life, and this is how we make money. This is how we live. So I need to do everything in my power to be the best I can, and she has done a phenomenal job at it.
And what I've seen, you're doing a phenomenal job as a daddy too, man.
I'm trying, and I'm working all day and night, and trying to be with her at the same time, and you want to be with her all day, and you want to do what you need to do, because in your head you're like, I gotta get this done, but at the same time I want to see everything she's doing. So that's tough weighing that out, and it's tough to do, but she's helped me a ton. I'd also like to thank David Eller and the whole Phoenix Honda racing team. Without David and Sean's getting all the deals worked out, but without them too, and the mechanics behind me, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We wouldn't be racing four-wheelers and dirt bikes and having fun doing it. It wouldn't be possible without the funding, the hard work, the countless hours in the shop. I see it firsthand. I stay up in the apartment up there, and I come out at 7 in the morning, and these guys are here working already, and it's like it's all day every day. And I can't thank them enough. My dad's down here now helping out, my mom at home, Brandon Lauer, my mechanic, Gino, the motor guy. I've been giving him tons of work lately. Sorry, Gino, but thank you for getting me going, and thank you for being here to do this.
Hey, man, my pleasure to be here. By the way, that's Joel Hetrick. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is the Quad Radio Roadshow.